Isabel is a professional artist who does absolutely wonderful, wonderful portraits and is offering both a course and a mentorship through Mastrius. The course will be related to like kind of making expressive portraits, and the mentorship, which is once a month. The course is like over 4 weeks, or it's 4 weeks, but not on the US Thanksgiving weekend. I think that's what that weekend is off. But yeah, and then the mentorship is a once a month mentorship where we get to pick Isabel's brains and find out how to all these tips and insights into painting. So Isabel, I'll let you just had a cool show, it sounded like, a piece, and you've been traveling a bit to show your work.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for being here, all of you. And maybe I can make a small introduction about the workshop of 4 days that is launched for the next Saturday, the 11th. And it's a kind of workshop to show and to talk and to paint on the direction of how important is to talk about or to paint about your own language, using your own voice, obviously using the basics of technique. I'm a person that has knowledge in illustration studies and also academic studies. So the academic studies give me the technical skills that I think it's super important to have them to build up through your creative point of view. That the illustration, I think, gave to me this point of the creativity and to use crazy colors, crazy forms, and all this stuff. So my main focus is always to teach how to mix these two worlds, because the creativity is something that is inner of everybody, any of us. And the creativity has to find the way of how to express it through the technique. So it's only 4 days, but I always try to explain easy method of technique to express all this. And to find an expressive portrait to paint is always starting from crazy ideas, or not crazy, but ideas. Ideas is always like floating in a different dimensional way. And just we have to trust on them and to see if they work on this physical world. So yeah, this is the main purpose of this workshop. And yeah, always I think my students grow from every class that we work together. I'm a person that all my knowledge I like to share with everyone ready to listen. And so my purpose is to see you to grow. So yeah, after this, like small words about the workshop, I want to introduce myself also with some of my artworks. As I said to you, my illustration world and my academic world come together, and nowadays I think I'm creating a bunch of artwork on the direction of a kind of world full of color and graphic forms, where mostly the woman is the main character of the composition. I'm going to share my desktop So I'm going to share with you two of my last artworks. These two artworks, actually nowadays, they are on an art fair in Moscow. It's called Art Life Fest 2023. And they are two kind of work that they really represent me. And is this two? It's called these two works. I wanted to make two paintings for this art festival, and thinking on a way of creating two works like a couple of works. So always I choose my model. In this case, it's a famous musician from my city. I live in Spain, and I decided to work with her because I love her physically and the energy, and we composed the stand. Always I want to do this. Always I want to choose everything. Nowadays, I choose everything. When I was in my beginning days, obviously I found photo references from internet, and I work it directly from them. But now I only want to work creating my own compositions. So for me, this is something very important to express what I am. You know, for me, this is one of the purpose for art, to try to share with the rest of the people how you think, what you like, what you prefer, and what do you want to talk to the people. And so I always like to talk about the power of human being. I use woman because I'm woman, and this is the person that I better know. So woman represent for me that power of human being, and it's a kind of remember who you are, remember how powerful you are to create everything on your physical world. So always also I want to use color because color has like a very high vibration of energy, and I work seriously, like in a very intuitive way to choose color. It's like I imagine color and forms, I put them, but obviously not always it works. Obviously, maybe I choose a blue and it doesn't work, and I'm going to change it for another color. Not always everything is at the first moment. I think don't matter if you are in a beginning stage or beginner stage or in a professional stage, that everyone do mistakes. Everyone has to change things, doubts about the painting, you know, all the crazy thing or the bad thoughts. I think everyone are living them. So it's like keep calm, because we are on the same boat, you know. So yeah, talking about these two paintings, they are oil paintings made on wood panel, and is also added I don't know how to say it in English. It's a kind of painting to paint in wood, but very, I don't remember the name in English. I mean, this kind of so bright colors is because it's a kind of painting that now I don't remember the name in English, but I like to find materials
Dry
that.
brushing?
Sorry?
Dry brushing?
Uh,
Dry-
not that all.
Not that? Okay.
It's like, for example, if you have a chair made in wood, and you want to apply a satin color to
Finish?
protect.
Like a matte finish?
Yeah, something like that. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Also, if you see this in pastels, I like also to work or to add to the oil painting materials to get thick. Like, for example, yeah, I'm not going to say it now because I need
Like
more
thicken the
work,
paint?
okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to say that I explore ways. I imagine and I focus on what I want to get, like thin layers, thick layers, bright layers, and I investigate and I try to find the material to get that effect. I paint on a way that I like to enjoy in a museum or in an exhibition. When I go to a museum, I like to see texture and brush strokes of different colors and gesture of the brush strokes, you know? So I want to do that on my paintings, you know? So the years by years is like I find a way that little by little is like I really feel deeply that represents to me. It's a kind of painting that is made in several layers. I'm two kind of Isabel Garmon. One can work quickly and the other can work very slow. And depending of the work, depending on my energy, what I'm looking for, I use more or less time.
We have a couple questions, Isabel.
Yeah.
We were wondering what size the paintings are.
1 meter.
Okay.
100 centimeters per 100. It's a square. It's a square size. It's a wood panel in a 3D structure. I don't know if you understand this. It's the wood panel that you find like a frame behind or the back part that gets like more solid the panel, because if you paint in a panel, wood panel, mostly it's going to turn, you know, because the weight of the painting goes to the wood panel and it turns. So
it kind of warps it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have a structure that can resist better all this, it's a kind of a structure like this, 3D structure wood panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I love about your paintings are those brush strokes and the different kind of colors that you've woven in your paintings. So I can't wait to hear a little more about this.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to say or add to this. I have a lot of references in my mind. I've always said that the mind has to be like a big library. That library is full of your own experiences with your family, your childhood, the sunsets, your parties, your boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. The other thing is all the bunch of paintings that you have seen in museums, books, from your partners, your mates, human. No? So when I paint, it's like my mind can like take a file and show me, okay, remember what Mancini, the Italian painter, worked on that painting with the nose, how is the color of the shadow of the painting of Monet in this case, you know what I mean? So for me, it's a real motivation to have all those references on my mind that let me like to look for an effect that I enjoyed seeing these paintings on the museum. You know, it's like that motivation gives me like an impulse to go to that thing. I think it's very important. It's like we need references, we need influences. Obviously, we have to work on the direction to find our language and the kind of painting that only talk about us. But everything has to start, and to start with references and your studying the painters that you really loved, and to try to investigate how they got that effect. I think it's very important, you know, and because finally you will find a mixture of all those experiences that you made on your investigation, you know, and little by little your small you start to appear, you know.
Great.
So yeah.
One more question.
Yep.
Do you put gesso on before painting the wood? I think you mentioned about that, or you mentioned something.
Yeah. Sometimes, well, usually I've in my most recent past, I was using like a very traditional process.
Okay.
And my traditional process was to start with materials that doesn't appear in the rest of the layers.
Oh, really? Okay.
If I'm painting in oil, my beginning cannot be in plastic, like acrylic or gesso.
Okay.
Mostly it's acrylic gesso. So I usually made my own gesso with rabbit skin glue and carbonate calcium and other recipe. But honestly, now it's like I feel that my mind is opened. It's opening, and I'm adding the parts of my process to my process. Like, for example, plastic paintings as imprimatura or as first layer. And in this case, I was looking for to create a thick layer with acrylic paint. And I think, if I don't remember bad, is acrylic painting from walls, to paint wall.
Okay.
Yeah. If I decide to create a thick layer as first layer, it's because I want to go step further. I'm going to
want to add to it. Okay.
Exactly, because I want to express the painting with gesture, with thick layers, with impastos. So if I start the painting from a thick layer with some of texture, it's like I've run steps further, you know. So at least it's my impression, because when I start with a very thin surface, it's like to get my purpose of express my brush strokes with thick layers, it's like I need more time to express that. Some painters, like for example Lita Cabellut, I don't know if you know this painter, is a Spanish one, and some of these painters work from very worked imprimatura of the layers, the first layer. And I think if you are a painter that want to work on this direction, to offer to the viewer the experience of thick layers, to use like less paint, because we know all painting is a painting that you pay high prices for it, more than other kind of painting. So you have to calculate the process, how to find it, but with less amount of paint, you know? So yeah.
Any questions? It was Lita Cabellut.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting her name in the
Yeah, because it's a big inspiration.
meeting chat. So
Super.
okay.
So yeah, I think
I just want to ask, because you said that you have your memory is like your library. It's amazing. For me, it's not possible. Do you know the other ways to build this library?
I think for me, I'm a very visual person. I can forget names, dates, all this. But when I see something and I put attention on it, it's like I create a Polaroid, no, a photo. So I think if you, this on my person, I think if you put conscious on what you are seeing on the moment that you are seeing or looking at, like you get that. Also, other track is always when you make a question to your mind about what you're seeing, it's like you get also to fix that image on your mind. For example, if you go to a museum and you look at a painting that you really love, you can stay there in front of the painting during hours, you know? Yeah, just enjoying, just feeling. But if in that moment you make a question about why am I sitting here in front of this painting? Why I love so much this painting? So you start to make like a processing. You start to processing the image, and probably you get a better instant in your mind of that moment. Always
That's
when
a really great point. That's a really great point. Yeah,
exactly. It's like the same case when you are studying something. The first point is to read it, but if you write it, you fix it better.
Yeah.
So in a looking an experience, like being in a museum, if you make question to yourself, you fix better the moment. Yeah, this can be a way that I recommend.
Thank you.
I call them files. They're files in my brain. Files, these things.
Exactly, files. I'm use this expression in Spanish. For me, everything is very graphic. For me, all my thoughts, all the things that goes on my mind, I gave them like a physical transformation, no? And the translation of these images that we have to have in the mind is like a library. There was, this reminds me, like, for example, in the ancient Rome, in Greek also, they had a system of imagine, to memorize, to imagine a house. And when you go inside of the house, you imagine what you see on the left, and what you put in every part of the room, you know, every concept in a place, no? So I think when you make these things in a graphic, when you translate a thought in a graphic way, it's like easily to memorize, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions right now? All right.
Okay. So I think, what do you think? We have time to move the brush?
Yeah, we're about 25 minutes in, so we still have at least like maybe another 25 minutes, and then I'll show how to sign up for the course and the class on the website.
Okay. So, I want to share with you. I'm making a painting in a private class with a student, and I thought was a nice idea to show like a middle stage of a painting, and to try to explain why you are seeing this painting on this stage. I mean, how do I move on the painting? Why do I choose this color and not this other? I want to say also that I really love the Impressionism movement. I think I feel very inspired for that way of how to move the brush strokes with gesture, and always working through the impression of the form. That also this movement is a translation about how I consider that art should be. Me as painter, I want to translate, sorry, translate what I'm seeing through my own experience of what I'm seeing. And impression of form gives me this way to express on this direction, no? So for that reason, also Impressionism movement is very important for me, because reflects perfectly, talks perfectly about how do I consider the art should be. This is my experience. Obviously, everyone has their own, but when someone started to talk to me about this concept, about the impression of the form, we see the image or the stand, we like eat the information, and we translate it to the surface of work. The art has to be this process, not just seeing and copy. You see, and through your knowledge, you translate, you know?
That's really a great thing to remember too, that we're doing it ourselves and we're not doing somebody else's artwork. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, because I really believe on that art that talk about you and not about others, because it's like your voice is only your voice. Nobody has your voice. and you're going to talk with that specific tone. With painting has to be exactly the same. You have to talk with your own tone of voice. And I'm going to change the camera.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you able to do that? Okay, let me spotlight you. Just a second.
And I'm going to go, I'm in also with my phone, okay?
Okay.
Isabel, please tell me just how long it takes you to do the previous paintings. What was the time to
Probably, yeah, it's a bit complicated to say exactly how many days, because I don't paint every day on the same painting, but I think I was working during 1 month, maybe.
Mhm.
1 month,
Okay.
but not using all the days. But yeah, it's like if I started the painting at the end of April, I finished it at the end of May, maybe like yeah, something like that. I think is but yeah, it's mostly the deep works. I mean the super deep, like those two paintings. Yeah, usually it's like 1 month of work.
Because you have to also wait till the layers will dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
No?
Okay, how to explain that? I don't feel that I need that the painting gets dry. You can listen to me, right?
Yes, I've got
Okay,
both.
because I had
both-
something saying
Yeah,
here.
I've got your iPhone and your main one spotlighted.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need always that the painting gets dry to add the next layer. Sometimes I love that the painting is still wet to continue painting. In other moments, I want that layer gets dry to continue the painting, because all depends the effect that I want to create. Or for example, if I start with a shadow very brown, for example, and I want to add a light, a reflecting light from this position, I need that color totally dry to add a thin layer of the new color. So depending the effect. But I know how to work with wet layers of work of the oil painting. And yeah, and also I start always a painting with very thin layers. So at the moment that I continue the painting is mostly dry. So it's not difficult for me to continue a painting. Obviously, if I need that painting gets dry, it's like, okay, maybe it's the moment for not to continue the work. Maybe I have to wait for 2 days. Or for example, if I really want to work on that painting, I do things that maybe it's not the best for those paintings, but I mean, in a traditional way, you have to wait exactly time to continue the painting, and maybe if you use some material to get dry, it can break in the next layers. All these things. Sometimes I work very freely, and I don't want to see those laws in all painting. I follow my own, and usually it works. But for example, if I want to get dry the painting to get dry, I put a focus of warm temperature, warm air, or to get dry faster.
Faster.
With a focus of warm temperature, or the sun goes directly to the painting, it gets dry faster. So you use tricks like this. So what do we see here? Let me move.
Can
Okay.
everybody see everything? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Cool.
great. Okay.
So I have here a painting that, this is a beautiful story about this painting. Because this painting, previously, I made the drawing to explain how to block, how to work transitions and all this. And my first plan was to move the drawing to the canvas, okay, without transferring the drawing to the canvas. But finally, I decided, okay, I think I'm going to experiment and I'm going to try something. And I think it's going to work. And I decided to put a layer of latex. This word is in English, right?
Yeah,
Also,
latex.
latex, and to paint on top. And it's like we can see the paper.
Whoops, wrong one. Sorry.
Eh?
I did the wrong one.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to get it closer, so let me get it closer here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like you can see here the painting. Also, when I apply the latex, it's like the paper made waves, no?
Right.
But yeah, it's the paper, and I really liked this process because, and the latex is really cool because you move with the oil and it works really, really well. And it's a surface that when you apply the paint, it's like it works perfectly. Like with a movement, a very natural movement. Like taking the paper, I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah, I started the painting with very thin layers, and I want to show you also like the texture of brushstrokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, inspired on these painters from Impressionism. I was studying in Florence, and Florence, I discovered there the painters of the Italian Impressionism, and I got totally inspired by them. And also I understood that a painting can be made with small brushstrokes, a small amount of paint, and just let that the color work together and to find the effect. Like, for example, if I want to explain that there is an orange there, maybe I only need to express a red or pink close to a yellow or a bit of like orange. It's like I see the paint like, or the way of paint like to talk about particles, like particles of light. You know, and I see the particle of pink, the particle, I don't know how it's pronounced this word.
Particle. Yeah.
Particle of orange, the particle of violet, the particle, you know, so I just move the paint, let them work on a very natural way. Also, I would like to show you
It seems like the use of color then kind of moves your eye to around the painting.
sorry, repeat.
Your use of color moves your eye around the painting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you pick it up in other parts, like you said, and it's amazing how it works. Like I wouldn't have thought of putting kind of that orange on a cheek like you've done, you know, so it's kind of amazing to see how it all comes together like that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really like you say that, because you have two ways of painting. One is making directly the tone that you see, like for example, that orange pinkly. But probably the tone that you make can be a bit poor in color, more than if you create that tone in 2 moments.
Yeah.
It's like to your eye, it's like mix both.
Mix it together. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It blends it. It kind of, yeah.
It's like because we have to paint also with the thought of how reacts the color on the surface. Like for example, I was talking about this 30 minutes before with the student, talking about my experience 1 year going to the exhibition of Rembrandt in Amsterdam in the Rijksmuseum.
Mhm.
And it was a retrospective exhibition of Rembrandt from the beginning to the late artworks. And I could see in one of the self-portraits that apparently was very brown, super brown, but it worked, no? Like all of it is by Rembrandt. But when I went close to the painting, I could see small marks of something that looked blue, but in reality, it was green or gray.
Oh, wow. Uh-huh. But
No,
when it
because-
came together, it looked brown.
Exactly, because in that moment they worked with black simulating blue, you know, because
Okay.
when you put a warm color close to a cold color, both color get more intensity. So in the moment that you paint in your palette with black and you create a gray with black and white, when you put it close to a warm color, that gray looks blue. It's something crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, something very crazy. So Rembrandt, on this case, was balancing the warm with that temperatures of gray, you know?
Wow.
So it's like to paint through the effect. And
Mhm.
I like to paint on that way, you know, with
Wow.
so in this case I was thinking on that. If I talk about my palette or one of them, it's like I always prepare mixtures, okay? I work with limited palette. Now I'm not working with black. My black is my ultramarine blue.
Okay.
And I use cadmium red, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, and I use white, titanium white. And with this, for working portraiture, I create the skin tone with.
Wow. You'd
And
think you need more colors, but that's amazing. That's just five different ones.
Yeah, because from several years, my goal was to simplify the process.
Okay.
Because to paint is something very, in reality, difficult. If you paint from knowledge, I mean thinking, it's something hard. You know, so if the process is complicated, there is a noise. If the process is complicated and the way of painting is also complicated, it's like everything gets crazy. I get crazy. So I decided to find a way how to simplify. And a way to simplify my palette on this way. But also I learned from a limited palette, you know, so my influences are this in reality. But for example, I learned instead of blue with black, okay? But the way of painting is like to simplify thinking on a super dark, a shadow, a tone for the general light, and a tone for the super light. It's like if I want to resume super close, the palette, the color palette, it's like I think on a tone for shadow, a tone for the transition to the light. I mean the middle light, the light, and the super light. It's like with 4 tones, I paint the scene. This is something that I have to explain more to understand. But the thing is how to compress my palette, how to compress the scene. This is the focus, to compress all the information that you see to find the impression of the form, you know? So obviously, when you create the tones, the general tones, you can adapt. If my general light, that mostly is orange, I need it greener, I add green. I mean yellow, more yellow ochre, more blue, and I adapt the tone. You know, but I have to locate exactly the tone, the general tone, and to adapt to the temperature, you know? And for me, this way is like, it's very easy. As medium, always I work with turpentine and oil, linseed oil. I work with them and like in a proportion of 50-50. Mostly the painting, during the whole process, I'm using this mixture of medium, 50-50. At the last point of the painting that I want to get thicker layer or impasto, that I don't add any medium, for example, no?
We have about 5 minutes, Isabel.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll show everybody how to sign up and all of that. this website.
Yeah, maybe if we have 5 minutes, maybe, and I don't know if to move my brush, maybe I can talk something about the painting. For example, always for me, it's very important to have a good drawing of the painting. We have to understand that don't mind if you make a good painting, I mean, a good drawing of the painting at the beginning, probably you're going to lose it, because the process of the painting is to find, to lose, to find, to lose. And if we understand that the process of painting is this, it's like, okay, relax. If you lose the painting, find it. That's it, And we have to be ready to recover drawing all the time. But anyways, to start with a good drawing of the painting always makes you easily the process, because at the end it's like to fill spaces with color, so if you have a good perspective, a good position of the head, a good space with the background, all the stuff, always you're going to paint better later. Yeah. So, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
And the drawing you doing with the paint as well? Or drawing with the pencil?
In this case, was the pencil, a drawing made in pencil, and later with the layer of latex. But for example, if I paint, if I don't do this process, and for example, the other two paintings, I always make the drawing in a paper or back in a big size, like a sketch, but in a big size, because I like to move freely and with gesture and all this. And from that drawing that I make, where I'm composing the painting, the future painting, I transfer that drawing to my surface. My wood panel is prepared with the imprimatura, and later with a program like Photoshop, for example, I take a photo of my surface of work and a photo of the drawing, and I put them together with less opacity of one of them, and I transfer the drawing to my surface with a charcoal or a piece of drawing. Like for example, the how the artist, the mural artist, when they have those big walls, they have to transfer the drawing to the wall. So they use a kind of way like that I'm explaining, it's like a kind of process like the typical of lines in vertical, horizontal.
Okay.
Like a grid or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
See. But in other cases, always directly with the brush. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are different ways, and depending your mood, depending of if you want to control better the drawing or you don't mind, or yeah. But if I want to control the drawing because I want a good painting, I make the drawing before and I transfer to the surface. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I think that it might be nice to kind of show where everything is on the website. And so if people are interested in signing up, the course begins this Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming up. Where is November gone already? And then the mentorship starts in December. So if it's okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, if I don't remember bad, the 3rd of December.
I'm sorry.
Nothing. Okay.
Okay. All right. So can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm kind of a novice at the whole sharing thing. I'm trying to get it better. But this is the Mastrius website, mastrius.com. And here's the mentorship page, and here's the courses page, and it'll show upcoming courses under that, which you click on and kind of scroll down, and then the different ones are listed here. So here is Isabel's expressive portraiture. So details, which is so cool. And then it, kind of talks about different, who would benefit from the class. And it's really every level, like you said, Isabel. And it's on 4 Saturdays for 2 hours. It skips November 25th. And depending on where you are, you figure out the timing, but 10 to noon Mountain Standard Time. And it's
in Europe, it is in Europe, in France. What is
in
the time?
France.
If I
What time are you now?
yeah, yeah, it was like 6 in the afternoon or
Probably
8.
so.
Uh-huh.
Where in Europe are you? France, you said.
Yes, France.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'll figure that out. It will probably it will come up in your time when you pull up the page. They've changed it so that it will do that. And for Isabel, it's like, isn't it, is it 6 o'clock for you?
Yeah, I think it's 6. Yeah, 6 in the afternoon.
So somewhere around that time. I'll look it up here in a minute. And so then you can add it to the cart there, and the prices, if you add it to the cart, the prices in US dollars, but they have ways that you can pay in your own currency. And then, here is a description, and then the supply list, different things, and then a bio on Isabel, and then examples of her paintings, and then, some details about the course. And then if you want to do a membership, you can, it's once a month, and then at another time of the month, that's when you meet with the mentor once a month. And then another time of the month, you meet with a group of members who are taking the mentorship and kind of talk about, any questions you have or questions with homework. You get homework sometimes in the course, and sometimes and always in the mentorship too. And so if we look up Isabel here, somewhere we can look that up, Mentor Finder. Okay. And there's, a lot of different people offering courses. So the mentorship, so this is mixed media, charcoal, graphite is the medium, but I think oil. Yeah. And so Isabel, here's, as we talked before, and you can sign up there. It'll have her website here and her Instagram, and kind of a description kind of on the color and composition, which we know are really great, strong points, and different, how to self-critique, studio time management. And then it's $64 a month US, and it's held on the first Sunday of every month from 10 to noon Mountain Standard Time. So that would be 6 also in Spain, and I would think France, but I don't know. Let's see.
Yes, I think it's 6.
Yeah. I think Europe's, let's see, it is 9, yeah, 8 hours ahead. Yeah. So 6 p.m. on Sundays. So, and then you can sign up, as I said, you can add it here. Okay, so here it would tell you. So, wow, all sorts of different places you can put in. So, amazing, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. But what other questions does everybody have? That Mastrius also has events, and you know, with a, you know, you can get a trial events membership, where we have different speakers. You know, they do demos and other things about once or several times a week, and kind of a chat area. This is mine, and you can go to ask questions. I'm not going to sign in. I'm not going to take the time to sign in right now. Sorry. Oh, I've lost it. Okay. Ah, sorry. As I said, I'm a little bit challenged. But there's a chat feature within Mastrius, so you can ask questions, and in the different, you know, courses or mentorship, you'll have a file that you'll be able to access through the Mastrius chat. So any questions? Hey, any questions?
For me, no. For me,
Okay. Yeah,
Thank
all
you.
right. Super. Well, thank you, Isabel. This has been great. Any
Thank
last
you.
words you want to say?
Me, no, just saying thank you very much for staying here. It has been very fun. Yeah,
Yes,
so
this has been great.
yeah. Hope to see you in my mentorships.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
great.
you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you all. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and email me. I can put my email real quickly in the chat. SueMesmer@yahoo.com. SueMessmer@Yahoo. And feel free to let me know, or I'm happy to answer any questions. So I think this will be lots of fun. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You
Bye
too.
bye. Thank you. Bye.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.